Welcome to my guide series on Galactic War in ZeroSpace. Today we'll be showcasing Vynthra on what I believe to be her best map, which is Retreat. I am currently level 3 with the commander, which gives me some bonuses. Specifically, the level 2 is quite useful. More ranged on ranged units when infusion, which is something I'll explain in game, and 20% health on infused units is quite useful. However, it's not vital, so you can also do what I do here at level 1 and you should be fine. So Vynthra in general is arguably the strongest commander in the early game, as the things that make her powerful aren't reliant on certain talents and levels, and arguably still the strongest commander later game. And the reasoning for that comes down to one of her abilities. So this map, you usually want to go over here first to clear out your expansion, and then move over here, and then move towards the center. So I'll show that in a little bit. So to start off with our hero, we have two abilities, Channel and Thorny Shield. Channel, or as I lovingly refer to it as the Suck, you pick an enemy, it makes them vulnerable, it deals damage to them, and it heals you. And Thorny Shield is a shield that you put on yourself or on another unit, you take less damage, and you deal damage back to the enemy. So as you can see, what this hero is great at is survivability. You can just walk into a bunch of enemies and just sit there. So let's continue our production as I continue to clear out the expansion. Infusion. You can read exactly what it does, but basically make your units better. You can even read the descriptions and see that both of the abilities scale with your infusion level. God, these Dread Corsair Flamers are very tanky. So let's showcase one use case for it. Usually your units are very slow off grass. So if you had to take this expansion normally, the unit would have to walk around, and that would be quite annoying. So let's infuse it. And once that infusion is done, let's make sure that this tower is attacking me and won't attack my worker. Great, the infusion is done. Now this unit is flying, and now I can take the expansion no problem without having to walk around. Let's continue setting up our production as we make more. God, these units are super tanky. Let's just ignore it for now. Okay, well, we have enough to infuse the hero, so I'm going to do that. When you're infusing, you get a lot of defensive buffs. So now let's try to kill it. There we go, that works a lot better. Now that we've freed of both of these, we'll go back and stop the AI from destroying our allies' base. Let's have our allies clean that up. As for your roster, in general, in the early game, what you want is some kind of front line, which is usually the Mandragora until you unlock the lasher, and some kind of backline damage, which 90% of the time ends up being the lasher. It's your only really solid late game DPS. Why are you not attacking? Please attack. So, infusion. The priority for infusions is heroes, then your melee, then range DPS, and then everything else. So we're going to go over here since this is where the first objective is. I'm going to be using a very specific route for this. So feel free to follow the exact route that I take in your own games. Let's make sure that this doesn't die. And here we can do an interesting thing. These nourishing pods, as you can see, they spawn 3 workers when you place them down. So instead of trying to grab workers all the way over here and try to spread grass or have to infuse them to make them air units, I can just spawn these healing pods from the top bar, and suddenly this base has proper defenses. Let's continue with production. And there we go. This base is now defended for a good while from attacks. Let's infuse you as well. So let's showcase your healing. So I just walked into a bunch of enemies. And as you can see here, when you're attacking shields, your healing is greatly reduced, so be careful about that. But I just walked in and tanking everything, and I'm still at full health. So the Mandragora are quite good because they deal a good amount of anti-building damage, which is something that your hero does struggle with. Oh, and these nourishing pods, because they're nourishing pods, will also heal the defenses that you build. So it's a doubly good defense for that reason. And here's another thing you can do with the suck. As you can see, I put it on an ally, and now that ally is being healed. Okay, so here's the main threat on this map. There'll be these siege engines that will spawn, that will attack you. Let's build some more. We want some more lashers, and they will siege usually outside of your range, so you need to deal with them yourself. The static defenses usually won't cover it. So let's have the hero come in again, first to tank, as that's just more efficient. And have the Mandragora focus down buildings and things that Vynthra will struggle to take down with the suck. And that's the basics of how to play this hero. A lot of it comes down to microing your suck onto the right targets at the right time. Ooh, nice, the first bonus spawned. So we'll be going, there's a tree here that you need to destroy, and then we'll be going up here next. Let's get some behemoths. And let's get some nourishing pods at home. So great, we got that one. You only need 2 nests per lair. Any more than that, literally doesn't do anything for you. So with 2 nests secure, we're good. Another thing that you can do with infuse is if you click on it and then click and drag, it will infuse all the units in the area that it can. So as you can see, I was able to infuse both of the lashers there at the same time, instead of having to click them one by one. So same idea, send the hero in first to tank. If the aggro switches to one of the units, you can swap the suck to heal allies instead of enemies, instead of attacking enemies. And there we go, we're clearing this area quite nicely. There is a dreadnought here, which is a bit annoying. In general, Vynthra struggles a bit with air units, but our mercenaries are going to help with that because they hit air. And let's see. Okay, evacuation starts soon, so let's build some more nourishing pods here. And same idea, use these to build defenses. Now that this is cleared, these will die, so it might seem like a bit of a waste to just have them come in and then die. But it is the easiest way to do this. Otherwise, you need to rely on your ally to properly defend, which can be unreliable, especially with an AI ally. Let's get some snipers and some ranged infantry. We don't really need the vehicles, they're more kind of harass units and we're not really harassing the enemy. So as you get into the mid game and you have an actual army, I recommend having your entire army on whatever your default hotkey is, and then having a second hotkey for just your hero, because you often want to send your hero forward in front of your army. Okay. Let's make sure that all of these do their thing properly. Oh, I believe the behemoths cleared that for me. That's nice. So let's get some upgrades. For lashers, you want attack range, and we can't get any of the other upgrades because I forgot to build these. No big deal. Great. So at this point in the route, you haven't been around the main street for a while, so there might be a buildup of siege engines or whatever other nonsense going on. So this is your opportunity to clean that up and kind of stick with your reinforcements and all of that, where you've cleared down here, up here, at which point this is secure. If you want, you can head down and clear this way and then back up, or clear through here the way I did. Reinforce with this, make sure that all of this is safe, and then we're going up here next in a little bit. So for the Mandragora, I usually get the splash radius, tunnel is too much micro, and attack speed for missing health is great. And for behemoths, attack range is great, and the transport isn't really necessary on this map. So let's go up here to deal with the siege engine and with the rest of it. More lashers, more Mandragora. Let's build some more large nests to get them out quicker. Something else that you can do is put nourishing pods down near a fight, because they will heal your units, and at later levels the grass also provides you with a damage resistance, and you can just build some turrets with them if the fight is not too far from the objective. So great, that is 3 nests clear, so we're actually good for this one and the first part of this one as well. Let's check up here. One of the bonus objectives can spawn up here. It did not spawn up here, but there's a bunch of extra money whenever there's a bonus objective that doesn't spawn in an area. So that's fine. We'll just pick up the money. Make sure that the AI doesn't step into the beam. The AI loves stepping in. No. Go back. Yeah, the AI loves doing this, where it just walks through the beam. So need to be careful with that. I wasn't careful with that, so that is unfortunate. So let's move back here. Great. And the last one we're going to clear, as you can see, we're way ahead of this. And for this one, if you did an okay job of spreading grass, which I did not, this can be actually reinforced with the workers that are at your base. So for now, there's going to be very little defenses on it here. And we are going to head down here. Be careful not to step too close to this. There's a bunch of enemies protecting something over here. Yeah, and they can aggro like that. So if they do aggro, you can just pull them out and deal with them. But in general, you'd prefer not to do that, because you don't need this point. What we want is the point right over here, because there's a nest over here, the 6th one that we need, and there's also the bonus objective right behind it, so it's kind of a 2-for-1 special, where you get both of the things at the same time. So there's a siege engine back there, but when hitting actual units, it's very difficult to get hit by it. You just need to keep moving a little bit and you'll be fine. And it doesn't even do all that much damage to units, even if you do get hit by it, as you can see. So we're going to clear up to this nest. And then clear down to here. And the reinforcements are just going to protect this. So getting low. One thing to be careful with behemoths is that they do have a anti-air attack. However, it is usually pretty bad and you don't really want to use it. So if they end up, so they can end up being stuck on air targets and dealing very little damage. So great. Objective captured. I've been at the same time intercepting all of the waves coming from here this far. And now we can sandwich the attack wave and the siege engines over here. Let's infuse any of the units here. Oh, never mind. That got killed. Let's continue spreading grass. I should have been doing this way earlier so that this is better defended, but that's okay. So yeah, this mission is all about your clear order. If you have a good clear order, even if you don't do things very optimally or don't have good unit retention, as you can see, I'm still only at 100 supply. I've had most of my army die on multiple occasions. You can still end up in a relatively confident position as long as you have a good clear order. Editing interruption here. So I was thinking of the way that this worked before, and it seems it got changed recently. So let me just clarify how exactly the nests operate on this mission. Each nest that you clear spawns 3 workers, which then goes to the nearest lair, takes out 1 egg each, and goes off of the map, and they're gone. So if you, let's say you clear 3 nests, they will take out 9 eggs out of the lair, and then the perpetual worker that kind of goes back and forth by default will take out the rest. What this means is that if you clear more than 2 nests in the, let's say, first layer or second layer, the eggs out of there will clear out faster, and it will go and the next layer will activate quicker. One thing to be careful of with this is that the attack waves are dependent on the lair, and the eggs, so the attack waves can stack. But there is a point to clearing out more than 6 nests, although the clear order is still good. Anyway, back to the video. But again, it's not necessary. 2 is enough. So if clearing like this is too much of a risk, because you can see there's a lot of units and I'm going to lose a good portion of my army here, then you can just stay home and defend. But my ally has a big army, so I'm not too worried about the defense. There we go. That was retreat. So, in general, to summarize, go down here, clear this area, have your ally either clear this or go up here, depending on how good you are on time, up to the center, down to clear this. This one is usually very lightly defended. Up to here, either back to the middle and start clearing up here this way, or up to the bonus objective and then clear through this way. And then down to this one, assuming that your bonus is over here. The bonus can also spawn over here. If it spawns over here, I recommend completely ignoring this area and just heading over here and clearing this one. And that's the map. Hopefully this was useful. I am active in the ZeroSpace server if you have any questions, and the guides section of the server also has a written companion guide to this video. Other than that, hope you have fun and see you in the next one.